Okay, how's it going, guys? It's Richard Anderson here. I thought I would make a video on how I make my templates, my vector templates. And I thought I'd just do it long format, real time. I was going to do time lapse, but then I thought, we can't really see all the details. So I figured I would just record it as I go. I'm going to try and make this one nice, simple, easy to follow. And yeah, hopefully it'll be easy for you guys to make up yourself. So I always like to start off with a nice picture. Obviously it's got to be flat. It's got to be super flat, super level. The vehicle's got to be pretty squared up. This is an image from Ford directly, so it's pretty dead straight on. Work with that, and then we can just get straight into it. So I pretty much always have my image as a base, and then I lock the layers. So I always like to have my layers locked. Well, it's over here, so it's nice and locked, so you don't start clicking on it. And I always just like to start with the outside of the vehicle. Let's get into it over here. And pretty much, like, you don't actually have to have a lot of the details, you know, all these extra little bits. So I'll cut off details that we don't need as we go. Normally I like to work with a lot higher resolution pictures, but also just wanted to show you that you can use low res pictures like this in a design for a template. So pretty much just, yeah, start. I'm going to miss out a lot of this detail, save me the time, and yeah, figured I'm just going to go for it. So I'm kind of trying to decide if I go for black bumpers or going to do actual body panel, but I think, I'm just going to go for it like this. Now, I do love these vans. They're pretty cool. We do get them here in New Zealand, so pretty familiar with them. Apparently, these are the most popular vans of choice. I don't actually work with too many vans because a lot of my designs, I kind of like to use trucks, or I use a lot of Teslas in my own designs, or what is it, Toyota 86s, which are always fun, which are pretty popular. And I kind of like to work on a smaller scale. Pretty much this is like an A4 piece of paper scale. I pretty much do all my work at that scale. I don't know why. I think I just picked it like years ago, and now I'm stuck in the scale, and then I've just picked all my elements for it. Yeah, so we do our outline, and then what I do is I make everything out of lines. So pretty much, yeah, recreate all of this in line, and then we'll add all the shading and all that kind of stuff at the end. So yeah, it's pretty much just got to go around, make it, and like you can see, you don't have to be too exact. Unless you want to be exact, and you can go for it. But this is more just to kind of show you how to make a simple template. Make it up. And yeah, I mean, adding all the details in just helps so much, you know, like just to show your customer how the wrap design is going to look is a huge help to them, because, you know, they're investing a lot of money in this wrap design. So it's kind of cool just to show them, yeah, good representation of their vehicle. And when it comes to wrap designs, I always think it's like so valuable to actually spend time, you know, making the template yourself, because then you actually just get to know the vehicle. You get to know the shapes and how it works, how the original designers wanted the vehicle to look, and yeah, that just helps so much in the whole design side of it when you come to wrap design. I mean, sometimes I literally spend, when I am doing custom work, I spend more time on the actual design, the template, you know, making up the template. I spend way more time doing that than the actual wrap design for some reason. It's just, you know, it's like, it's presentation, you know, and it's, you're presenting the customer your idea, your concept, you know, and showing them. So, I mean, if you can get your customer on board with the concept, it's so much easier to sell them a design. Like, you can literally spend, I don't know, 2 hours making a nice design, and 5 minutes making a nice template design. and then 5 minutes on the design, and it would be worth it because, you know, you're showing your customer, yeah, your idea, which is kind of cool. Obviously, I mean, depends on the project. You can definitely nerd out on templates like this and spend way too much time on them. I certainly spend too much time on my templates, but I enjoy it. I like making cars. Like, that's why I got into this job, is because I like cars. I don't know how to fix cars. I like making cars look good. I have no idea how they work. I mean, roughly do, but I do no work on my own car because I do not have the budget all the time. I mean, one day I would love to have a cool project car, but we'll see how we go. Yeah, as you can see, just pretty much adding in all the little details, and I'll shade this in later. But for me, it's just quicker if you just draw up everything, and then at the end, I mean, you could like draw it, make it, and then what did I do? Oh, what am I doing? Yeah, so like classic is, instead of going around drawing it, you just do, what is it, path offset minus, just keep it really simple, -2 for the windows. And yeah, I'm kind of jumping around a bit, so hopefully this is making sense. And pretty much just go around making it all. And what we're gonna do here, we're gonna get rid of this. Okay, I probably am gonna do this window properly so it's not too confusing. Because windows are kind of, man, they're a bit tricky, but you gotta get them right. So normally you could just leave this black, and it would look kind of cool, you know, looking like the car's got fully tinted out. But I also find sometimes windows can be a huge, big black area on your design. And in reality, like a window on a car is, it's, you know, they're not black, you can see through. So you need to kind of, yeah, show that there is depth to the window. I'm trying to think. -1.5, yeah, but that should do it. Yeah, you need to show depth in the windows, and it just kind of looks cool. And I kind of just like it. Unless your customer does have fully tinted out windows. Yeah, I would just say kind of, I just think it looks better if you actually have a little bit of transparency. But I'll show you what I mean. So yeah, drawn it out. And now we pretty much just go for add in the color of the outside of the rubbers and that. And what you do is you kind of just do pretty much just, oh, it's not working. Shade of gray, like this. Get rid of our nice, there you go. So you can already see it's kind of working. And the shapes inside the window can be a bit lumpy. I think they work better if they're a bit lumpy and kind of a bit strange. So then you take this kind of shape and then you go offset. Oh wait, no, we've actually got to make it. Oh, I hope this is making sense because I'm jumping around a little bit. Okay, so there you go. So you've just got this shape, and then you got the inside window bit. And then now you take this shape here, offset, and what you do is, so I've also offset it to go in a bit. Pretty much just take an eraser and you just kind of draw a cool shape like that. Now you just take it off. Now we're gonna do the reflections on our window like this. So pretty simple, and there we go. very simple and quick. And you could add a whole lot more detail to it, but yeah, I just like to keep it really simple. For the wing mirrors, pretty much do your blobby shape, which is kind of cool. Once again, offset path, minus 0.5 or whatever. So we go back and we select our little shine, and then you just kind of, yeah, just drag it from one side. And there we go, keep our little shine. I like to put a little shadow underneath it, just to make it look cool. And I mean, once again, you can definitely nerd out and recreate these wing mirrors perfectly, but you really don't need to. I mean, most of the time, customer it's not going to realize what their wing mirror looks like. And I mean, I've got a whole folder with all these elements like pre-made, and I just chuck the wing mirrors on that I've already made. And I've got like door handles already made, and I've got all my shines pre-made up, ready to go, so I can smash out a template pretty quick once you have everything like made up pretty quick. So there you go, it's kind of looking cool already. And you can already see it's looking cool. Just with that simple shine and a little bit of depth, it's looking good. Maybe we'll make it a bit darker, just so it looks a little bit. And you can see that little gap there is kind of weird. So yeah, just kind of go through, clean it up a little bit. But I'm liking it already, which is cool. All right, let's go on to what is this, door handle? Okay, make sure, so I always like all this kind of line work to be 0.5. But once again, that's my own scale. So you got to figure out what scale you want to work with. And so that's not really going to help us to copy the pixels of the original image. So we'll just do our own thing. Yeah, once again, just keep it simple. Go offset, grab our shine, which is just white with the transparency. And for this, I like to go like 40. I'm not going to go too crazy. And then just kind of chuck it on top. Kind of going to copy it and just cut this one. Yes, we got it the right way. And just make it like, oh, where are we? Just make it like 40. And it's just simple, just a representation of the door handle, because they're really important things. Like, you've got to make sure the design is not crossing over them, because it's like a mission to wrap door handles. So I always like my designs to never really cross over door handles, or if they are crossing over, it's going to be kind of random. So yeah, I like to always think about that. What are we doing? Yep, there we go. Okay, so we got door handle done. Got that bit done. Yeah, so I'll carry on adding some line work, and then I'll be able to add in all the shines and stuff. It's getting a bit tricky to see, so let me just get rid of some of this. That's a little bit more helpful. I think I'm just going to make this like a shape, because I'm pretty sure this black plastic is like a standard thing on every van. Oopsie, make sure it's locked. What's going on here? Okay, so we've got that one, and yep. That one. Okay, so this is going to be a bit tricky, but we could just do a simple representation of how it's going to look. Come on. It's not working today. There you go. Okay, we'll come back and add all the details, but I kind of just like to just roughly place everything now, and then it's faster later. Oh yeah, we're gonna add a little shadow in there. Okay. Yeah, I started making my own templates, I guess, when I originally started doing vehicle web design, which was back when I started web design, when I was a young designer at a design firm. We actually used to make racing jerseys for motocross, which was like our main business, or was my boss's main business, which, man, I still do love racing jerseys. I love the challenge and I love the limitations of racing jerseys, like trying to design something that goes around someone's body, that lines up on the seams correctly, and then also doesn't need to line up on certain seams, and you've got to think about the sizing, and you've got to think about there's just so much. I mean, yeah, it's complicated, and I love the challenge I love the restriction of racing jerseys, man. So I'd love to do some more racing jersey designs, but it would be cool. Where was it going with that? I was saying, that's where I started rap design. Yeah, it was in this place. Obviously, the racing jerseys was like for Yamaha. This was back when I used to live in South Africa. That's where I'm originally from. So motocross racing is really big in SA. So these racing, I guess, motocross, teams and stuff used to have vans, and then the vans would need wrap designs. And that was like my first little kind of insight into the world of vehicle wrap designs, and realizing, there's a market for, design for these types of vehicle for wrap designs. Never knew that before, I don't know. Obviously, everything needs to get designed by someone. And I loved car designs. I loved wrap designs. I loved car designs growing up as a kid, and always dreamed of being a car designer. But then I realized you have to live in Europe, and it's a long process to actually become a car designer, and it's pretty much more like, product design. Like, you kind of start with that. So yeah, long story, eventually didn't really pursue becoming a car designer. But yeah, got this job used to make lots of motocross stuff, and wrap design was a part of it, which was so cool. So I did my first wrap design on a van. I'm pretty sure it was like a Ford Transit, and how I did it was I started off with a picture, and then just did the outline like this. Pretty much just did the outline and then just chucked the wrap design over it. Pretty much would just look like this. And then I guess the next one I did, I added like the window in, and I cut out the window. And then the next one I was like, I've got to draw the plastic in. So I drew up the plastics or whatever. And then the next one I was like, how can I add my own shadow? Because then I could do my backgrounds and stuff. So I added my own shadow in. And then the next one I was like, man, this light is so annoying. How can I replace the light? And then eventually got to the point where I was like, I might as well just do the whole thing from scratch. And yeah, I think I did. And I can't remember the first one I made from scratch. But yeah, I think it just slowly evolved from me using photos from the customers. I'm actually not going to I'm just going to keep the side very simple. Like, I'm not going to do a door on this one, so I'm just going to keep it simple. So yeah, if you want to add in the door, just add in pretty much all the details, and I'll show you how to shade it. But I'm going to keep it nice and simple. What am I doing here? I'm jumping around a bit, so hopefully this is making sense. I could do a proper video where we actually explain each thing. But I figured, I'm just going to chill and chat about the process, chat about how I got into making these templates. Yeah, so I started off with pictures. Pictures evolved into me adding all the details. And now I pretty much make everything from scratch. I mean, I do a lot of like vector tracing for like the rims and stuff because I don't have time to make rims. And I kind of like the realistic look of vector traced rims. And then that means I can like change out the rims fast, you know. I know there's other designers who like make all their rims from scratch and then you have a huge collection. But I'm like, I'm not really focused on that. I just want to do my own thing. Not too worried about the rims. Anyway, so yeah, go around and you kind of, pretty much just copy the reflections on the vehicle. Like we're kind of lucky with this vehicle. It shows us, like Ford's taken some great photos of it. So it shows us some good reflections. Like sometimes a customer will have a car where it's got like terrible reflections, but this one is cool. We still got to add our own in because like it would have been better if we actually started with a car that was not white, a van that's not white. But you want to add in all these different shapes to your template because it just, helps the customer so much. Helps them to visualize how it's going to look, and that's our job as vehicle wrap designers is, helping the customer visualize how your concept is going to look on their car. And if it's easy for them to see it, then it's going to be, make the whole process easy for everyone, for the installers and the customer and yourself. Okay, so, I'm kind of cheating because I've done this van so many times. Like I know how it's going to look in the end. And with shading and stuff, like you've just got to, have experience figuring out where the shading goes and the reflections and stuff go on the cars. Like it's a tricky one and I'm probably not teaching it well. But to get the shading reflections right, that's a whole conversation in itself of how to actually shade properly, which goes back to actual fine art skills and like actual art skills and how to draw and that kind of stuff, which is a huge conversation which probably won't get into. I've actually got when I went to college, I went to a fine arts college, so I've got degrees and whatnot in art and drawing and sculpture and drawing, sculpture, and there's 4. I don't think it's graphic design. I don't know. Drawing, sculpture, painting, graphic design. I feel like there's another one. I don't know if there's anything else you could do. Pretty sure it doesn't. This was in an art college back in SA. So none of the skills really can apply to any job today. I learned a lot from my art college and I loved the experience. All the programs that I use, we used to use this program back in the day called Freehand and it was terrible. I hated that program and I didn't use Illustrator. I don't know why, Adobe Illustrator is the best. Can't beat it. I should have actually said at the start of the video, that's what I'm using. Adobe Illustrator. But yeah, that's what we used to use. Okay, so we've got a lot of those reflections kind of planned out. We've got that one there. Oh, we need another one here. Like, it's hard, but I kind of know where the panel's gonna go. So we're just kind of, just doing some loose shapes. And this will make, I guess, more sense at the end when we actually shade stuff. And I know this panel, I think it goes down like that. So I'm just gonna make another one. You don't have to be too precise with this kind of stuff. It is kind of representation. It's like a concept for your customer. It's not the actual thing. Once again, you can nerd out about the stuff and spend ages making your template super complicated. But then if you do that, you're just going to have a complicated template, which actually slows down your computer. Like if you have a crazy wrap design and you've got this template that slows down your computer, like that's not going to help at all. Like you need a template that's quick, easy to use, simple to chop between each layers. Yeah, it's pointless having like a awesome looking template, but it affects your workflow. You know, it's got to be a good mix of great looking template that works quickly, that is easy to use, and effective. So simple, bold, effective. That's my company's mantra. That's what we're all about. And yeah, there you go. Okay, so we got that one down. I know this is kind of taking long, but this kind of stuff is kind of crucial. Okay, I don't know where that's going to go. So yeah, the roof one's easy. Just going to go offset path, minus 1.5, which is like the easiest one. We'll just go E. Okay, and then we just kind of chop it. And I like to also kind of chop the front too. So we'll use that later on. And we'll use one of these later on too. Oh, maybe not. Okay. There we go. All right, so we got those ready. So even already it's looking cool, and it's just the line work. So I always think like if the line work's looking good, it's going to look great when it's all shaded up correctly. It's cool. Let's just get this size of the line looking better. All right. I don't know. Let's go front to back, I guess. Shade up everything. All right. So front. Now it's pretty simple. Now you just grab it, and you always want it to kind of, you want to think about the surrounding of, like what's surrounding your vehicle. You know, so you always have your, you can imagine like this is always the base of like, okay, that's the horizon. And in reality, it would be like, there's some trees and some mountains, and you'd have like your buildings, if that makes sense. I don't know if that makes sense, but you know, that's like your surrounding. Oh, that's kind of nice. Yeah, that would be like surrounding. So you got to keep that in mind of like, oh, what does my surrounding look like? Where is my light source? Obviously, we're just working in 2D and it's pretty flat. So it's pretty easy. So you don't have to think about it too much. And okay, so we're just going to go around, shade everything up. Now, I don't actually want it at 100. I want it at like, I don't know, let's go 40. So it's not too bad. Okay, so around the arches, so these are just straight gradients. Gradients, yeah. But around the arches, you can do ones, oh, let's take away this outline. You can use the circle gradient. I don't even know, radial gradient. Yeah, so use that. And we're gonna take the center, move it down. In Illustrator, you can like stretch and skew your fades, which is really cool. I don't know if they can do that in the other programs. That's one of my favorite features of Illustrator. And there you go, bam, that one's done. All right, so I think this is actually this is a shadow. 20, yeah, let's make it 20. Like normally I don't actually put shadows in, but I normally just do the highlights. So we'll just put the shadow in for now. Yeah, 2 shadows, 20, 20. Let's make it really subtle. 15. All right, so above that, we need to have the shine. So I think I'm just gonna go, just duplicate it. Okay, that's a weird way of doing it, but it's just making sure that both these lines are in line with each other. And this one, so we could go straight across, but then you're gonna get these weird ends. And there's a way of sorting that out, but it's gonna look a bit weird. So we'll go back to the gradient, the radial gradient, and we will kind of go like this. Well, It's a bit tricky. Put your gradient all the way at the end, all the way at this end. Maybe we'll just bring this up to help us a little bit. Put it down. And I mean, yeah, each template's going to be a bit more tricky. There'll be challenges on other ones. But a van should be pretty simple. Okay, so we just keep it subtle. Just a suggestion of what the shape looks like. That looks quite severe, but we will just bring it down. Yeah, there you go. Bring it down a little bit. There you go. A little highlight of what it's going to look like. And I kind of like the idea of having one under. Two, so we'll have a nice one underneath it. And it really helps you as a designer when you're designing the vehicle wraps to know where the shapes are of the vehicle. And if you are designing a wrap, I would definitely suggest never have your design needing to line up with any shape on a vehicle, unless you're wrapping the car yourself and you're willing to go through the pain of trying to get things to line up. Like, that would be crazy. And I mean, I think it does look cool when designs line up with, elements on a car, but I don't know if it's worth the time. I mean, yeah, definitely sometimes it is worth the time. But there's a way around it. You don't have to do it that way. So already it's looking cool. We've got some shape. We can definitely see the big shape of the vehicle right there. We could also change just the color of this, so maybe we could see it a bit better. And I'm just trying to do this in the most simple way. There's other ways you could do this, but I want to just give you guys a simple way of how to do it. So this one was easier, just offsetted path, cut it, and then just kind of, chop it out. And same kind of thing. So we just do, we don't want gradients. So yeah, so 40 white, 40 to 0, and then you want to go black to 100% black. Yeah, but actually make it like 40. So then you got your cool little transition right there. And I love this. This is like my favorite little transition on a van because it just makes it look so real. Like, look at that. It looks so cool. If I don't say so myself. And the roof one's pretty easy. We just take that and go down like that. Makes it pretty easy. And already we are actually looking pretty good. Let's do this one. So once again, like, once you have all the elements, like, you could have them all stored. I've got mine all stored up here, ready to go. It makes it way quicker and easier. And then once you've done a few, you can like save the rims, save some of the headlights. So you can make it go really quick. There you go. So we're gonna do that one. And then we're gonna do this one. Okay. Sweet. Okay, so how does this look? This looks like, so it kind of just, it goes darker, which I guess we could do it like that. Okay, yeah, I've just gone bigger, offset path in. What am I doing? This, yep. And we're going to go this color, just back to our gradient. Now, I mean, I'm offsetting path because I like to have a thick outline, but you don't have to offset path in like I'm doing. I don't know why I do. Yeah, I guess because I don't like the way it looks when I don't like it if the shine looks like this over the outline. I like there to be a little gap. And then when you zoom out, you can't actually see it. So there we go. We better do the hinges just in case, you know, you're wrapping it and the customer needs to know that the hinges are a certain color. Oh, just make it more simple. Square. You know, just a simple representation of, I don't know, a hinge, you know, just some, keep it simple. My original boss used to always say to me, you know, keep it simple, stupid. I don't know if he was insulting me, but it definitely stuck with me. Just, you know, keep things simple with your job. I don't know, that may not look good in this case, but yeah, keep it simple. So that I always just try and think of that when I am doing my designs, which most of the time I always go overboard with my designs, you know, team overkill, let's go. But nah, I like it. Okay, so a simple one for the back. It's going to be really hard to recreate this. I mean, maybe we could just do this shape. Oh, come on, I need to see, draw something. We could just add a bit of white in. Oh, I've lost it. Oh, yeah, like I say, it's going to be hard to make this shape, but the way I like to do them, keep them really simple, once again. So you take a red, make it 100. Go black. So red, black, gradient, simple gradient. That way, since a lot of the headlight tints, a lot of people like to tint the headlights. Well, over here they do, I don't know. If people in America like to tint their headlights, I don't know. Let me know in the comments down below if people like to tint their headlights in America or wherever you're from. I do love the look of tinted headlights. Man, that looks so cool. But on the other hand, I hate it. Like, I almost crashed the other day into someone. No, almost, like, quite often I almost crash into people with tinted headlights. Like, they look so cool, but you cannot see when someone's indicating out of a roundabout or turning somewhere. Like, man, it's so annoying. And I used to have tinted headlights in my car, and I used to love it. But then again, it makes your car look so aggressive, and I didn't like how aggressive my car looked. It looked angry. Anyway, so going on about that. All right, so yeah, you have that. On different cars, the shines will go differently. So you just offset par, bring it to the top. Now that looks pretty ugly, so you go E, and you just do a little swipe like that. Keep it simple, and then you go up like that. When it comes to headlights, yeah, just go 100, I don't know, 100, and then offset path again. Maybe go this way. Yeah, sometimes I feel just add a whole lot of shines to the headlights. I mean, tail lights, what am I talking about? It seems to help. I don't know, just put it right there. They're kind of tricky, but that's kind of just a simple way of how I like to do them. And yeah, looks simple, works well. Is it similar to the original? Yep, kind of. It'll be good. All right, on to the front headlight. I feel like fronts are way easier. But then again, headlights are crazy hard. Like, each headlight is different, and the old school ones are different and more challenging in their own way. I feel like the new ones are a lot more simple because they just, I don't know, let's make this like an LED. I think that'd be kind of cool. So LEDs are kind of cool. You just go down like this and like this. I don't know, make it like a big fat line. Once again, I'm supposed to be keeping this template simple, going overboard. Oh my gosh. Okay, we may just ditch this idea. Okay, so front headlights, I pretty much just go gray. Oh, what am I doing? White? No. Okay, gray to white. Once again, you could go darker than this, but we're not going to do that. I don't know if I need to have all this. What am I doing? I don't even know. Yeah, let's just make my life simple. Get rid of this. Okay. Now, I've always just, put my colors in here, but recently I learned that you can just drag and drop your colors. Oh, okay, the other day it worked. Okay, the other day I somehow drag and drop my color here, and I don't know why it's not working today. No, oh, maybe just click it. Oh, yeah. So you just grab it, and you just click it. Oh, like, I'm literally designing Illustrator for like 10 years. Didn't know that. Still probably going to do it here because that makes sense to me. Man, I use gradients all the time. And I wish this was like, it's so simple. And I wish there was more, I don't know, editable? Is that a word? I don't even know. So anyway. So, yeah, simple. Okay, so now offset path, grab your eraser tool, just kind of draw a cool line. Like you could do that by hand. Well, actually do it. Oh, come on. Actually do it. So you want to get really high shine. I mean, I used to make like really subtle headlights. Nowadays, I kind of go overboard. I mean, actually, nowadays, I kind of do a mix. Like if I'm doing my own headlight, I'll do like this cool mix of vector tracing the originals, and then, but I do a lot of work within Photoshop before I do that. And maybe I will show you guys how I do that. So let me know if you guys want to know a detailed video on how I make, let's take out that one. Yeah, how I make realistic headlights through Photoshop and Illustrator. So that's kind of battling this one. Yeah, that's how I just kind of keep them simple. Once again, I'm trying to do it quickly. And I think that looks good. All right, so how are we looking? We're looking cool already. I'm kind of liking it. It's looking good, nice and simple. Like, once again, like the template should be simple because the wrap design is a thing that's supposed to stand out. And you want a simple template, so the wrap design will look cool. Okay, so front window, yeah, I've gone down a little bit for some reason, but front windows are always, man, they are tricky, but they do give the, car the kind of character, eh? Definitely gotta keep aware of the shape, so what are we at? 0.5, offset path, and then we're gonna just, drag it down. There you go. All right, let's just quickly add in some of the shading. Okay, we got one pre-made up here. May adjust this, or just grab it like this. Yeah, so just a little representation of how it looks. Oop. Okay, and the fenders, so also minus offset path. Let's do a bigger one, -1. sometimes feel you could just do linear, what is this, 100, nope, 40. Oh, I hate it when it does that. Like whenever Illustrator is so annoying sometimes. When you got a shape like that and it's like 40, you know, this value is 40%. If you drag something over, duplicate it, so 0, 0, it makes this one back to 0. Why does it do that? Illustrator, sort it out, man. So frustrating. Like I say, I use gradients a lot, and that kind of stuff is so annoying. But once you've got it set up, it's easy because you just drink. Okay, so now it's getting a bit hard to see. So I'm going to change this guy back to 100 so I can see what to, oh, okay, so there's not much to kind of go off of, which does not help. Okay, I just assume we need some shading on the top. So just gonna cut it. And just add some shading to the top. And that's kind of thing with templates. You've just gotta, yeah, go with it. And figure out what works, what's not working. Because definitely some stuff looks way cooler on a picture. But when you make it flat 2D, it can look weird. Because, yeah, stuff just looks different when you make it up. Okay, there you go. That one's done. Oh, this one looks a bit too much. You just want to be subtle. Yeah, just calm down. What's happening with this one? Okay, there's some shapes. But there's a lot going on with that. Let's grab our little hinge. Which, man, the hinges stick out so far. Come on forward, sort it out. Why you make ugly hinges on your 2023 van? Like, surely there's a way of making nice hinges that don't stick out. I guess I have no idea what I'm talking about. I am not a vehicle wrap designer. I mean, I am. I'm not a car designer or a tradie. Like, I have no idea why the hinges need to stick out. It's probably something to do about how usable it needs to be. It needs to be reliable. All that kind of stuff. Which is cool. All right, so we're getting there. Looking good. Okay, got that. Oh yeah, we need the biggest shine possible. So this is through the middle of the design. And if we look at the original, it's got nothing. But I always like to add a little something in this area. Just a little bit of flash. So, gonna just carry on with my little window and just kind of make a little horizon. Oh, let's just go up here. And I think this is one of the very first reflections I did. I was like, I had my picture and I just chucked the simple horizon line through the vehicle. Like, even if you just had a simple line artwork in just this horizon line, it would look amazing. It just kind of makes it look so shiny. Oh, something's happening. Oh, there you go. Look how much better that looks. It looks so cool. All right. So we got that one. Let's just add a little bit more detail here. And once again, you could go crazy adding in all the details. Well, let's just make sure this goes behind. But yeah, we don't want to go too crazy. Just adding in the main ones for this guy. But all this kind of stuff helps, having a cool template helps, like I've already spoken about. Okay. There you go. So, like you say, adding in all these cool details helps a lot. Okay, where are we? We're here. I don't want it 100. I want it back to 40. There you go. Okay. Sweet. That's looking good. And there we go. Okay, so let's add in the wheels and whatnot. So, because that is vital. I mean, you could just chop these out, or you could do a vector trace of these wheels. But we're not going to do that. And just going to make up something quick. Oh, get out though. Okay. What am I doing? Yep, locked. Okay, so black. Yeah, undercarriage. I don't know, just kind of make it up. Kind of like to make it look a little bit lower, so always kind of make it go in a bit like this. Back. Okay, there you go, got a wheel. Whoa, it's already looking cool. All right, so let me just make it smaller. What I like to do is, what do I like to do? I like to go like this. Let's go black. Make it black. Chuck it in like this. And there you go, there's your tie bit. You could do it like this. There's a way of making a cool little, really simple tie-up. Having it like this, or I think I go something like this. And this is, you just got to play around with it and figure out like what looks good as a tire. Like I said, and then you could make up the rim by copying a rim, but I just do a vector trace. Like I've already got a cool one set up. Like I said, I'll make a video eventually of how I do my vector tracing on my rims. There you go. So I like to go like this, and then you go Control CV. Yeah, making up a tire, like man, it's so hard. I think tires and wheels are maybe the most challenging bit. And that's like a really simple way. In Illustrator, you can do a little feather, which looks really cool. And then you could go ahead and add in all the little line work. You know, like all the different lines on the tire. And the cool thing about tires is once you've made one tire, like it pretty much works for everything. And here is one that I made earlier. Yeah, like I made up this rim. It took forever, but you don't need to. And there you go. So I just went ahead and added in some extra little details. And you can quickly chuck it in the back of there, which is cool. And then you can make a nice little shadow underneath. Yeah, definitely got to have shadows underneath. Like, man, you got to have it. Once again, you could go crazy. And yeah, spend a lot of time making cool shadows. Like there's different ways you can make them. They are very challenging to do. When I make my own ones, I got my own special way of making them. But this is a simple way. So simple, just a shape. In Illustrator, we got stylized feather. So I think we can just feather it. I don't know, what do we got? 8. Yeah, that's gonna look cool. Yep, so we can feather it, and I think to feather out the edges, we just chuck it in here. and make it about, I don't know, what, 60? No, it's not gonna be good. Let's make it like 70. 70? Yeah, something like that. But then it looks really dark here, so I don't know, let's go here. Just make it like 40. And you just need to play around for each vehicle, make it look cool in each one, and there you go, simple way. Another cool way you can do is just make the back wheel like this. Chuck the back wheel in there. And there we have it. A simple way of making a vector template. I hope you guys liked it. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it made sense about all my rambling on about vehicle wrap design. And you could definitely spend a lot longer than what I have and make something way cooler. But this is the basics of how I do it. And I hope you guys learned a little something. Let me know in the comments if it made sense or if you enjoyed it or you learned something. I could definitely do a shorter version of this, but I thought, you know what, let's just do a real-time chat about it. And yeah, hope you guys like it. And yeah, on to the next one, eh? So let me know what you guys liked. Yeah, let me know in the comments. Thanks.